Hello and welcome to the first ever episode of Games for Thought. I'm Damon.
And I'm Sam. In an industry that continually shovels out games of all different kinds, we're here to show you which games are worth looking at and which ones may not be so great.
Correct. That being said, Sam, do you like FPS?
I like Halo.
Close enough. Do you like tower defense?
Yeah.
So what would you say if I told you there was a game that combined both those things?
Kidding. I'm kidding. That actually sounds pretty awesome.
Then you should definitely check out Sanctum. Sanctum takes the overall gameplay of a tower defense game, but instead of having you place all your towers as if you were some kind of god, you actually navigate around your maze on foot, and on top of that, this gives you the ability to attack the enemies within the maze yourself.
This makes for a much more involved and exciting gameplay experience than a normal tower defense game would usually give.
The player does not have health, and instead, only your objective does. Getting hit only serves to stun you for a brief period of time, or throw you back, or even off the edge.
It also features a large number of enemy types, each with their own weak spot, which tests both your tower type choices and your sharpshooting abilities.
Also, a rather unexpected feature to the game is exploration. You wouldn't think so, but there's actually a great deal that you can explore outside the simple boundaries of the main tower defense area that have hidden secrets or just simple atmosphere that adds to the game itself.
To top it all off, the game has a 2-player online co-op, which is always a huge bonus. It only has an endless wave mode, but that's not really a bad thing at all.
And don't forget that 4-player co-op has been promised for some time in the future. So as you can see, this game has a lot of really cool features.
Don't forget about the text-to-speech in the slow fields.
What the hell does that have to do with anything?
99 cat 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 cat.
Anyway, the game is solid but not without fault, and sadly all these issues stem from multiplayer.
First problem is the difficulty curve.
Difficulty really only affects how much enemies' health increases per wave, though.
This was an issue during multiplayer when Sanctum first came out, and more specifically, the money distribution between players was not really proportionate to the difficulty increase. This did seem to be fixed in the recent patch, so now we only have one real issue with the multiplayer. The issue itself, though, is more of just a minor annoyance, which is the fact that the players' resources are split.
We feel that resources should either be pooled or that there should be a way in which to share with the other players.
Another thing that feels like a problem to us is randomized enemy waves. You wouldn't think so, but this can be a really big issue sometimes.
One such instance was during a multiplayer in which the first 3 to 4 waves were entirely tanks, and then a double wave of only flying units.
Not that those units are difficult to deal with later on, but in my opinion, they shouldn't even be showing up that early.
And the last problem with the waves themselves is that there really isn't any real variety. It's always the same groups of units with no real mix and match.
They do tend to mix and match a little bit later on in the game, but it's really just a double wave of 2 different types rather than a true mixing of units.
While I can understand why they would want to do this, it causes waves to become very boring and or predictable. This ties in with our previous point in that a giant mass of one certain type of enemies can be overwhelming in certain situations. So, through the good and the bad of the game, here are our final verdicts. This is a scale of 1 to 10. 1 is horrible, 10 is absolutely amazing. This isn't a school grading system. So, what is your rating, Sam?
I'd give it an 8. There seems to be a constant stream of updates, and the game is tons of fun with a friend. There isn't a whole lot of variation, but it is still pretty inventive for what is there. I look forward to new maps as well as the possibility of new gun and enemy types.
I actually give it an 8 as well. I agree, it's an incredibly inventive game, and the core gameplay is really solid. The multiplayer can hold it back and could be easily improved, but it's still a hell of a lot of fun as it is. Overall, it's a very good game, and a unique combination of 2 different genres. If you like FPS, tower defense, or even games that just push the bill on being creative, this game is definitely worth a look. Anyway, we hope this review was helpful.
And we'll see you next time on
Games for Thought.